Pilocytic astrocytoma is a brain tumor originating from astrocytes. In this video, I'll give you an easy visual mnemonic so you know all the essential facts about pilocytic astrocytoma for test day. We've traveled all the way to outer space for this video. Don't worry, we're in good hands. This pilot astronaut knows what he's doing. By the way, this pilot astronaut is our symbol for pilocytic astrocytoma. Get it? Pilot for pilocytic and astronaut for astrocytoma. Pilocytic astrocytoma is a type of brain tumor arising from astrocytic glial cells, or just astrocytes, which are supportive cells in our central nervous system. If it helps, just remember that this pilot astronaut came from the stars, just like this tumor came from astrocytes, which were named for their star-like appearance. This disease is also called low-grade or grade 1 astrocytoma. Let's keep exploring the scene to find out where in the brain pilocytic astrocytoma tends to affect. You hear that? Those ringing bells means it's lunchtime. Astronauts have to eat too, don't they? These silver bells should help you remember the cerebellum, or the silver bellum, if I may. Pilocytic astrocytomas are most commonly found in the cerebellum. This is an infratentorial location, located in the posterior fossa. In rare cases, these tumors may be seen supratentorially in the cortex, but for most intensive purposes, you should just remember these silver bells for the cerebellum. Even though we're in the spaceship, this pilot astronaut keeps his helmet on at all times. The sun is just way too bright. This bright sun should help you remember that pilocytic astrocytoma is common in childhood. Here at Pixarize, we use the sun, or daytime, to represent childhood tumors, and night for adult tumors, since the day is bright and full of energy, kind of like children, while the late night of adulthood is, well, you know. Let this bright sun remind you that pilocytic astrocytoma is most commonly seen in children. In fact, this is the most common primary brain tumor seen in all children. Before we move on, we should briefly touch on some common ways pilocytic astrocytoma presents in patients. You can expect some general symptoms common to all brain tumors, since the growing tumors tend to push down on nearby brain tissue in what is known as mass effect. This manifests as seizures and morning headache, as well as dementia or other focal neurologic deficits. Got that? Now, let's move on to some of the specific ways we can diagnose this tumor. As you probably know, these space voyages can take quite some time, so our pilot astronaut here is picking up some new hobbies to pass the time. See that big spindle he's using to embroider pilot on his uniform? This spindle is our symbol for spindle cells, since the tumor from pilocytic astrocytomas usually contains spindle cells. These can be visualized on biopsy or histopathology of tumors in which the spindle cells get their name for their spindle-like shape, long cells that are longer than they are wide. These cells form a mass that is well circumcised, with clearly defined borders and edges. Next, since it's lunchtime, this pilot astronaut needs to take off his space helmet to eat. Notice how his hair is standing straight up from static electricity? This static hair projecting out of his head should help you remember hair-like projections, since his hair is literally projecting outwards, isn't it? The spindle cells in pilocytic astrocytomas contain long, thin processes that extend outwards from the cell in all directions. This is where the pilocytic in its name comes from, since pil just means hair in Italian. Next, take a look at what's on the menu for today. Looks like the garnish is some pink rosemary. Must be some weird alien breed of the herb. Anyways, this pink rosemary should remind you of Rosenthal fibers. You know, rosemary for Rosenthal fibers. What's more, the pink color of this rosemary should remind you of the pink or eosinophilic color of Rosenthal fibers on histopathology. Rosenthal fibers are yet another distinctive characteristic of pilocytic astrocytoma. These are pink corkscrew-shaped fibers that are thought to be aggregates of proteins from the tumor cells. Besides these Rosenthal fibers, eosinophilic granular bodies, or pink granules, may also be seen. These appear on imaging as pink round aggregates. These are really different appearances of the same thing, protein aggregates from the tumor cells. It looks like this rosemary was being used to garnish this block of Swiss cheese. Say, don't the holes in this Swiss cheese remind you of anything? It kind of looks like a holy cystic tumor, doesn't it? Holy cheese for holy tumors? That's easy enough. As you might know, cystic tumors contain these little holes on gross pathology. Clinically, the brain tumors in pilocytic astrocytoma are often removed surgically and then sent to pathology for the microscopic imaging we just talked about. One of the first steps for a pathologist is to cut the tumor into slices, and these slices in pilocytic astrocytoma tend to reveal cysts or holes throughout the tumor. These cysts are caused by local areas of poor blood circulation due to the tumor's growth. The presence of cysts on gross pathology is useful for differentiating pilocytic astrocytomas from medulloblastomas, another childhood brain tumor that tends to have a non-cystic or solid appearance. Before we wrap up, let's take a look at that pile of gift wrap. No pun intended. This pilot spindle must have been a present from back home. Let this gift wrap remind you of GFAP, since GFAP stands for gift wrap, right? Well, actually, GFAP stands for glial fibrillary acidic protein, a protein made by glial cells in the brain, including astrocytes. Practically, this protein is used as a marker to stain microscopy slides. So if you determine that a brain tumor is GFAP positive, this helps you determine that the tumor came from glial cells. This includes pilocytic astrocytoma, but could also include things like glioblastoma. Just know that pilocytic astrocytoma is GFAP positive. Got that? One last note on treatment before we end here. Pilocytic astrocytomas usually have a pretty good prognosis after surgical removal of the tumor, which is a good thing, since these tumors are usually seen in kids. Just a happy note to end the day. Okay, now we're really done. Let's recap what we've learned here. Pilocytic astrocytomas are brain tumors originating from astrocytes. These are usually located infratentorially in the cerebellum. Children are most commonly affected, and, in fact, this tumor is the most common primary brain tumor in children. Under the microscope, the tumor consists of a mass of spindle cells with hair-like glial projections. Pink or eosinophilic corkscrew-shaped fibers called Rosenthal fibers may also be seen. On gross pathology, these tumors are notable for containing cystic components. Lastly, due to their glial origin, pilocytic astrocytomas tend to stain GFAP positive. Alright, that's all for now in this video. Time to dig into this weird alien dish of rosemary. I'll see you in the next video.